Bible Made Simple. My name is William Barrett, and I have a small ministry called the Bible Made Simple. And we're going to look at how the Bible can be made simple today. The acted parable of Jonathan and the two rocks. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 11, we find this statement by Paul. Now all these things happen unto them for ensamples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Now when we look at this word ensamples, in the Strong's Concordance, number 5179, the word is tupos, and it means a model for warning, a type, a figure. Another interesting thing about this verse, besides it telling us that the things that were written in the Old Testament about the Jewish people are written for our admonition, is the fact that it says all the things, making it very easy. You don't have to pick out particular stories or things and say, okay, these are written for our admonition, for those of us who live at the end of the world. No, it says all the things. And so we're going to have to look at these Bible stories as acted parables of things that not only happened to the Jewish people on a local basis, but things that are going to happen to spiritual Israel, the church, in the last days on a worldwide basis. These things are going to be repeated again, and so we want to look at this as an acted parable. And the passage says this in 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 4 and 5. Quote, and between the passages by which Jonathan sought to go over unto the Philistines' garrison, there was a sharp rock on the one side and a sharp rock on the other side. And the name of the one was Bozez, and the name of the other Sina. The forefront of the one was situate northward over against Michmash, and the other southward over against Gibeah. Now what questions do you have as you read this verse with me? Well, wouldn't you want to know why in the world these rocks are named? Why is it so specific to tell us the direction that these cities are located at and their names? These were my questions when I studied this passage. What do the names of the two rocks mean? What do the names of the two cities mean? Who does Jonathan represent? And where is Jonathan? What is the spiritual meaning of this acted parable or ensample? Again, referring to Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, the word sharp, number 8127, literally means a cliff. And the word name, number 8034, means character. The name Bozez, number 949, is shining, and it comes from a root word, number 948, to bleach, to be white, fine linen. The word Sina, number 5573, is thorn, coming from a root word, number 5572, to prick, a bramble. And Michmash, number 4363, means hidden, like under a bushel, that is brought out in Matthew 5:15. And its direction is northward. Gibeah, direction southward, number 1390, means little hill, similar to the passage in Matthew 5:14 that says city set on a hill. So we've learned that the names of the two rocks are really talking about the character of the two rocks. Bozez, meaning shining, fine white linen, and Sina, something that will hurt you, to prick, a thorn, a bramble. Well, now the Bible mentions two rocks. In Deuteronomy 32, verse 31 and 37, the Bible says, for their rock is not as our rock. Where are their gods, their rock, in whom they trusted? In 1 Corinthians 10:4, Paul gives us a little help here. He says they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. So we've learned that there are two rocks that represent two gods. One rock represents the Lord, Christ, and one rock represents Satan. Therefore, the rock Bozez represents the true God, Christ, shining, fine white linen. And the rock Sina represents the false god, Satan, something that will hurt us, a thorn, prick, a bramble. The two cities, Michmash, northward, means hidden, like under a bushel. And Gibeah means little hill. These two cities, as far apart as the compass directions of north and south, represent the actions of the two persons. God's actions are always in plain view on a hill, while Satan's actions are always hidden under a bushel. The two directions of north and south represent the positions of the two persons. North, the rightful position of God as our ruler, has been usurped by Satan. Isaiah 14 verse 13 says, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. And Jeremiah 6:1 says, evil appears out of the north. So Satan clearly is shown here in the Bible, trying by direction to associate himself with rulership of God. Jonathan was between two cliffs. The Bible said a sharp rock or cliff on one side and a sharp rock or cliff on the other. Now someone who is between two cliffs is in a valley. And so in Joel 3:14, multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So we've learned here that the valley represents a decision. Now we're ready to take a look and see what the spiritual meaning of this action parable really is. In the story, Jonathan is on a journey to fight with his enemy. As he travels, he must pass through a valley where the two rocks are. Jonathan represents a person on the journey of life. Each person must enter the valley of decision, and they must choose between the two rocks. They will either choose the rock Bozez, which represents the pure life of Christ, or they will choose the rock Sina, which represents the wicked life of Satan. Very soon, all of us are going to have to choose between these two rocks.